And is there a motion to convene the Board of Canvassers?
I shall offer that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Been moved and seconded to convene as the Board of Canvassers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome back. Kathleen Whitley is our appointed person to the Board of Canvassers. Madam Clerk, do you have some results for us to consider?
We do. She's on her way up with some printed reports for you guys, but if you'd like, I can go ahead and get started. All right, so I just wanted to fill you in just really quickly on things that happened kind of after Election Day. So Election Day was on the 5th, and on the 8th, I appointed a board to conduct a post-election audit, which is required by statute. The Secretary of State's office ordered the races to be audited, which in an even-numbered year election, it has to be one federal race, one state race, and one county race. They ordered the races to be audited, and the audited races turned out to be President, Kansas House 123, and Sheriff. So they do always try to look for a contested race, especially at the county level. We didn't really have anything contested other than the sheriff's race, and that's why that one was selected, is because we had an official write-in candidate for that office. So on November 7th, we selected the precincts to be audited. We had the board come in and they audited Ward 13. I do have the results of the audit if you would like to see those. However, everything came out and matched the election day reporting exactly, or the election night reporting exactly. And then the Secretary of State approved the audit on November 12th. So other than that, after election night, we have to process ballots through the end of the week, so through November 8th. So that would include any hand counts from early voting and election day. So anybody who said they wanted a hand count, or if their ballot would not be fed through the machine instead of spoiling it, we would set it aside for hand count. So hand counts were performed, as well as processing any mail ballots that came in through the 8th. So those were all added. On your screen here, I have the results as of tonight, or as of today. And we'll have printed reports for you momentarily. But on election night, we had a total of 10,405 ballots cast. And you can see here that we have added a number here to come up to 10,888 total ballots cast. Please pass those around. Thanks.
Basically, that is almost the early registers of voters as you had agreed on election day.
Yeah.
Well, the exact percentages are 54.2 and 47 or 45.8.
So yeah, we did have a great turnout for early voting. I thought we were going to get, up above 2020, and we were just right under 2020's results. But overall, very good.
What's disappointing to me is 49% turnout.
Yes. Yeah, some of them are higher, especially the ones that do not have a community college. So at one point, the community college was registering every student that enrolled there. That inflated our voter rolls, because as those students either graduated or moved on to another school, they were left on the rolls. And there are very specific timeframes and circumstances to get people removed from the rolls. So I did talk with the college probably my second year in office, when I kind of realized what was happening, and I don't believe they're doing that anymore. So, but we do have to wait for these rolls to be cleaned up, and I think that that's a reason for some of our lower turnout when we're compared to the rest of the state.
You think, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, do you think another factor is the number of contested races that they might have in certain counties would maybe bring out additional people?
Oh, definitely. When you have a contested race, it brings out more people, certainly. or when you have a hot question on the ballot. We saw that in 2022. We had some pretty good turnout simply because of that question, so. But a lot of people do get apathetic when there's, you know,
Yep.
if there's nothing to vote for, so. So through the week, that first week after the election through the 8th, we ended up with a total of 10,494 ballots. This morning, you authorized 385 ballots to be counted in provisional and 9 to be partially counted, so that was a total of 394 additional ballots. Staff and the board went down and they processed a total of 368 of those through the tabulator, so they stood there and fed them into the tabulator. And 17 of those that they fed in were not able to be read, and so they were set aside for hand count. So after they fed all those ballots in and got results from what they were able to feed in, they went and did a hand count of those 17 ballots plus the 9 partials, and then they entered those hand-counted results and reviewed the write-ins. Final election report, we've got a total ballots cast of 10,888. And I'd be happy to answer any questions, provide any materials that you deem necessary to see if you want to see tapes or previous reports or anything like that. Sure. Yes, on that race.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Dory, how many blank slots do we have to fill every year? We have to pick out a person or two for a township job. Do you have?
I'm quite happy to say that we don't have to do any.
No kidding.
Yes. So I was able to, or my staff was able to reach out to majority of the township folks. We had 2 offices that did not have somebody file. That was Ivanhoe trustee and Pierceville trustee. And for both of those, we had enough write-ins to have a winner. And no, actually, that's to be nominated or to be elected in August. For a precinct committee person, it's 5 votes. But in the general election, it's just 1 more vote than anybody else. But we had enough votes there where we didn't have any ties or anything like that. So nothing for you to do this year on the townships.
Dory, you've mentioned, you had your committee today, or whatever you call them, that helped you with the tabulation, and you mentioned on the audits. Do you use the same people for all of those different tasks?
No, absolutely not.
Well, no, I just didn't know how.
Yeah. Our audit board is actually made up of folks who do not work on election day, and typically who don't really work any other boards. So they came in and we take all the ballots and give them all the ballots, and they dig through and find the ones they need to audit, and they take care of the entire process.
Okay, all right. I've never asked that question, I don't think.
Yeah, sure.
So you're ready for a motion to certify the,
I am if you are. If there's anything else you'd like to see or any questions we can answer, we'd be happy to do that.
Who's going to be the Ivanhoe Township trustee?
Ivanhoe Township trustee, I believe, was Tim Stone. Yes, it would be Tim Stone.
5 votes?
Yes, with 5 votes. And then for Pierceville, it ended up being Dan Harms.
Close race there.
Yeah, they were actually tied at one point, and then Dan squeaked by, so.
Good, yeah, that's a good point. No, he does not.
What did you do for Township Trustee Pierceville?
What do you mean, what did I do?
Who won? I got,
That would be Dan Harms,
No,
no,
on the trustee,
trustee for Pierceville.
yeah,
I'm looking at page 12.
yeah.
Look at page 11.
Was that an extension of that? Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's
Oh, so,
second page of that, I guess.
oh, you got 5 votes.
yes.
I did not read that correctly. I'm sorry.
Where's that Jones name?
Well, it's good to see that Judge Farrow and Judge Marquez got such strong votes for retention. It was- They outdid their appellate counterparts by considerable measure. Any other discussion on the presented results? Board of Canvassers, ready to certify?
motion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer the motion that the results of the general election 2024 for Finney County be certified and filed.
Second?
Been moved and seconded as the Board of Canvassers to certify the election results for the general election on November 5th, 2024, as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The election summary results are certified.
Thank you for that. We will publish that report on our website for the general public as well as the precinct level results, either later this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning. I do want to thank the approximately 120 people who help us every year make elections and election day happen, especially the election office staff who works tirelessly and who works lots of hours to make sure that every voter is able to vote. And then a shout out to Vanessa, who's just beyond awesome. She coordinates every aspect of our elections and ensures our residents of Finney County are provided a safe, fair, and transparent election. So I'm very proud of her for all she's accomplished.
On behalf of the board and the Board of County Commissioners, thank you for all you do as the Chief Election Officer. We have confidence in these elections.
And I would just add, Mr. Chairman, unless I know I'm not going to be in town, I try to do election day voting so I can see at least a couple of my friends once a year. But it was fun for me this year. I know, well, I'm still working on the second one. But it was fun for me to see the new faces as well as the veterans down at the 4-H building when I went there on election day, because there were a couple new faces that I hadn't seen there before, people who I knew, but I hadn't seen them working before. And then there were people like Annette and some of the others who are always there.
Yes,
So it was good to see the mix.
I think our poll workers really enjoy themselves, and they've been great at getting the word out, just word of mouth. But this year in particular, we had a couple of events down at the fairgrounds where we were able to speak with students. And so we had a lot of students this year at each of our locations, which was huge. And several of them were able to offer some translation to like some of our Burmese, Somali residents, which was huge. It's the first time we've ever been able to do that, and it was greatly appreciated. They were.
Well, one of the nice things about having a representative-elect to my right is that he'll be able to carry the message to Topeka that when one of our senior citizens shows up with an expired driver's license, who's been a citizen and a resident for for 50 years doesn't have to have a
So
current driver's license in order to vote.
I will tell you that that law does not apply to those 65 and older.
Well, then, for this forever, who doesn't want to drive, it
Exactly.
seems to me the legislature could edit that in a hurry, so if it's a identification that shows their address,
And
it
then,
ought to be enough.
Mr. Chairman, my other two questions, that you mentioned the students.
Yes.
They have to be 16 or older, or,
16 or older, and then we do ask that they get permission, of course, from the school, from their teachers and from their parents.
I thought 16 was the,
Yes,
and then this is the last day across the state for certification, is it not?
it is. It is. This will go, and I think they will be certifying the state results on December 2nd.
That's what I read,
Yes.
or sometime this weekend.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to vote, sir, in the upcoming House elections.
No.
Congratulations.
Which
to
is
you.
on the 2nd of December.
Congratulations to yourself also. Well done. I'd like to also, excuse me, Commissioner Jones.
Okay. I want to echo your accolades to Dory and her crew, but also remind everybody that is not aware that she is highly regarded also by the Secretary of State's office in the way she conducts things. So it hasn't always been this way. We used to spend, as Larry can
Yes, I
attest.
can attest to that.
Yeah,
And you guys-
we worked hard.
You guys,
I can bring you the tape.
No.
So as I go out the door, Dory, I want to say thank you. You can do great work.
Well, thank you, Dave. I
you
appreciate
guys
that.
drug me through that for our first few years when I was on
Yeah,
there.
I
so.
did try to hand him up, and we go around the table, we go, like you, okay, let's compromise.
One had the tape, one had the,
It's,
Yeah, and one last thing, I would like to also offer my congratulations to all of those who were elected, and then let you know that I have spoken with Judge Cott, and we will be having that special session on January 13th to swear in all of the new county officers.
Wonderful. Well, I think Commissioner Finney has a plan in place to get the Republican Central Committee together to where his replacement can be elected by the Central Committee and perhaps be present on that date for swearing in. But that's up to his timing and the Republican chairman, Dr. Clifford. All right, and as a board of canvassers, Kathleen, thank you for serving today. Appreciate your time and effort to the taxpayers and certifying our full, fair, and accurate, safe elections. Anything else for the board of canvassers?
and the check's in the mail, but it may be expired by the time it gets there.
Motion to adjourn as a board of canvassers?
I'll move that we adjourn as a board of canvassers.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn as a board of canvassers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. We are in regular session of the Board of County Commissioners. Is there anything further on the agenda for the Board of County Commissioners with the next scheduled meeting for December 2nd and the 16th then? Is that correct? All right. And then our,
I just thought I'd let you all know I've submitted round 2 of the tax foreclosure sale, so it's been submitted to the court and hopefully will be accepted this time.
I'll guard my tongue on that. Good luck with that. There's more than one defendant, so who knows, that may not happen. Good luck with that. All right, then a motion to adjourn.
Go ahead and second. Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Before you leave, we got a sign here.
What do they got going on?